We start this segment talking about something, an initiative. You know, there's so many initiatives that are taking place across Trinidad and Tobago to help build back Trinidad and Tobago to the country that we know, especially with one of the things that's really affecting us. And I'm not talking property tax right now. I'm talking the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. It is still there. I know property tax is at the fore. Everybody is talking about it. Everybody's worried about it. But crime is still there, people, and it's still very serious. And Oxygen with Nicole is actually hosting the response. This is something that I mentioned to you earlier, is taking place at Fiesta Plaza later today. But she is here, and I'm talking about Nicole Dyer Griffith, to tell us more about this initiative. And so many people, as I said, you know, taking the initiative, trying to do something, so many organizations, so many individuals trying to come together, bring people together, bring communities together. Let's discuss this. Let's do something. Let us come back as a people, as Trinbagonians, together to do something. So tell us what is happening at Fiesta Plaza, Nicole.
This evening, well, thank you for having me, Ria.
You're welcome.
This evening at 6 p.m., Fiesta Plaza, Movie Town, Port of Spain, Oxygen with Nicole will be hosting a civic-minded event called The Response, which is a civic reaction to public safety and security. And essentially it is based on the premise, as you just mentioned, that we all are aware of the problem, we all are aware of the issues, and even though sometimes we kind of live in a 7-day wonder world where for 7 days something is on the front burner and then something else happens and we just run to that. Yeah. You know, the issues of national safety and security still on the front burner. And as a result of that, a few persons, in addition to the Oxygen with Nicole group, felt that let us collate a number of people together and present a response rather than continue to speak about the issues. So as a result of that, I partnered with Rethink, which is a very you know, proactive organization. And of course, my creative director, Richard Young, who will be hosting the event, as he has done with Oxygen with Nicole before. And we will be presenting with Nikolai Edwards, who is the independent senator. He will speak about a youth perspective to national safety and security. Wayne Chance, who is the founder of Vision on Mission. He will speak about the solutions that he brought to the fore with the Vision on Mission program, as well as how the public can support that program so that it can reduce recidivism. We have a demonstration on personal defense by the Chief Instructor of Shotokan, Trinidad and Tobago, Sensei Brian Chinliang. And then, of course, there will be a presentation on the safety app that was recently launched in terms of what is the app, how to utilize it, by Darren Carmichael of Community Services Defense Limited. And then I will speak a little bit more about where we stand as it pertains to pepper spray. Because as you know, Ria, I have been very vocal on trying to get the amendment adjusted so that at least women, I know that men keep saying, well, why women alone? But let's just start somewhere so that at least our women can be afforded the opportunity to have a non-lethal personal protective device. So I would speak a little bit more about the international support that I have been receiving and about an organization called Kuros that has come on board and started and partnered with me in pushing this forward to see if we can, one, get the legislation amended, and two, once that legislation is amended, their organization will do what they can to be able to afford women in Trinidad and Tobago who may not be able to afford pepper spray. They will be giving it out free of charge. So there's a number of things that are taking place, and so we'll be sharing all of that at this evening's event. Of course, one of the more important features of the event is for persons to let their voices be heard. It is very important. Now, I have submitted a petition. I have spoken about the issue of amending the legislation, but people have been contacting me on social media and say, you know, this is great, I support this. Come out and say that you support it so that your voice can be taped and it can be recorded and people will understand. This is not about Nicole, this is not about anybody else, but it's about you empowering yourself. And so that this evening you will be given the opportunity to do that as well.
And this is open to men and women alike?
Open to everybody, because as I said, once the legislation, at least for my segment, is amended, well then of course you'll have to put certain regulations in place. But it's to provide you with an option for your own personal safety and security.
Okay, so it's taking place today at Fiesta Plaza. So it's basically open to anybody because
Open.
Fiesta Plaza, you can just go
Yeah.
and you can sit, you can have a drink, you can have some dinner, whatever it is you want at 6 o'clock. And so many different speakers are coming to basically talk about what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago and how we can take this forward. What do you intend to do with this afterwards, though? I mean, you're getting all these people to come and speak and say, like, you know, these are the different things that you can do. People who are also going to come and say, these are the issues that I'm facing. What do you intend to do with this?
That's a very good question. The next
afterward?
step for that would be to collate the information and to create a multimedia campaign just to keep it going, because you know we found that there are so many impactful things taking place, and then you know it just stops short
Yes.
of achieving the response. So that, aptly called the response, we're going to be collating the information and creating a multimedia campaign to take it to our next step and the next level of sharing the information, disseminating our thoughts and feelings, disseminating some solutions, as well as keeping the focus on amending the legislation towards the end that we would like to see happen.
Is this just the legislation for the pepper spray or other things? Because when you think about, you know, people really coming together to make a difference, as you said, it's falls short or it stops short, and then what? Nothing moves on from there. I don't know what it is. That
Now,
stops
the thing
people from
about
doing
it,
that.
that's true. The thing about it, there are a number of other persons who have stated that they will be coming this evening because they have certain things that they would like to share. And that is why we're going to be collating the information and creating the multimedia campaign, because there are look, on another station yesterday, there was someone speaking about the current situation in Venezuela. And in Trinidad and Tobago, we have residents, so many people with significant institutional and other types of capacity and various forms of intelligences that we can utilize. And if we can capture that information and really use it from a non-partisan perspective, you see, Ria, the thing that is killing this country is partisan politics. It always boils down to that. Brass tacks. It's either you're left, you're right, and that's just the way it is. And as a result of that, you find that we are always finding ourselves bouncing your head against the door, because if you're not on one side and you come with a good idea, the other side is not interested. And at some point in time, we need to set that aside for the benefit of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And we are seeing it, you know, just play out before our very eyes. Nothing can ever take place that is in the benefit of all of us unless it comes from the correct side. And therefore, people tend not to listen to something or not to listen to a proposal or a person if you're not on your side. And we need to get rid of that. And at some point, we all need to remove these political lenses. I mean, and sometimes I feel as if I'm a preacher because I've sat here before and I said the same thing. Well, you know, so we need to reinforce this notion, and we need to continue to remind ourselves that when you remove the political lenses, the political divide, criminals are not coming and saying, I'm going to attack you, but before I attack you, let me see what party you support. They're not doing it. So as a result of that, we need to understand that we need to protect ourselves and we need to remove the political lenses, because at the end of the day, we are the ones who are always at risk.
But do you think that that is changing now with the younger people, the younger generation, and with the youth as well? Do you think that's changing, that perspective, that thinking, or you think it's still embedded there?
I think it's embedded. And I'm using, I mean, when you say younger, I'm going to have to use my son as a test, because he is still at the age where, even though, because he has grown up within in a political environment, he's very aware of political influences and so, but he's also very wary. And he echoes a lot of the voices, you know, it's like an echo chamber of a lot of his generation. They are wary of where we are as a political or as a political country. They're wary of the political division, and as a result of that, you find a lack of interest. And this is like from 14 years, because he's 14 years old. So there's a lack of interest, and there's almost a disdain for politics. It's almost, I don't want to be involved in that because there's too much bitterness, there's too much hatred, there's too much division. We're not interested in that. We're interested in what we can do to make this country better. So the first thing, I suppose, for the younger generation from 14 come up is to get them to understand, to not see things through a political lens, and to understand that, you know, there's more to it than the division. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. But we have to try, and we have to keep going, because as I mentioned, it is our country. It belongs to nobody else but us.
Now, you've also got Oxygen. Tell us what Oxygen is.
Well, Oxygen with Nicole is a motivational event that I started in 2010 as a result of the same type of negativity and political derision. And it is an event where we invited a number of influential women and women who had really impactful stories so they can share their stories with other women and create an atmosphere, a safe space as we call it, to create, connect and cohere. I enlisted the support of International Creative Director Richard Young so that he can add a Caribbean flair and Caribbean aesthetic to the entire realm of storytelling, because that is what we use to get the message across, storytelling. It was very successful in Trinidad. We've hosted it twice in Trinidad, reached over 800 women. As a result, the government of Guyana invited us over in last year, and that was the main event for International Women's Day in Guyana last year, with hundreds of women. It was supported. Government ministers came and spoke. The First Lady of Guyana came and she was present in Guyana last year. This year we are going to be hosting it in Antigua and perhaps in St. Lucia, and then of course we have expanded the safe space concept to actually creating a safe space in terms of this event, the response with public safety and security. So it is something that I am very passionate about, Oxygen with Nicole, and I hope that all civic-minded persons will come down to Fiesta Plaza Movie Town at 6 p.m. to be a part of the response.
And remember, it's a non-partisan, all-encompassing initiative designed to provide a platform for a solution-focused outcome to respond to the current spate of crime and criminality facing Trinidad and Tobago. And it's free. It's something that we all are dealing with at present. So be a part of it. Be the change that Trinidad and Tobago needs. Thank you, Nicole Dyer Griffith, for coming and letting us know all about this once again. Oxygen with Nicole hosting the response this evening starts at 6 at Fiesta Plaza. Be a part of it.